Okay, Paddy, I'm really glad that you've joined me because we have some hot news to share with our viewers before the weekend. And this is that as of, on Thursday, the 25th of March, the government has announced a whole new set of restrictions concerning the lockdown, which come into force on Saturday, the 27th of March. So I thought I wanted to share that with you and with our viewers.
So what's the situation, John? Can we leave the house? Are we allowed to congregate in large numbers? Can you give us the latest on what we can and
Yeah,
can't do?
absolutely. So basically, what's happened is that the maximum amount of people allowed to congregate is still set to five, but we have crossed that kind of ultimate threshold of 35,000 cases each day. On Thursday, the 25th, it was around 34,000. Today, that number has actually gone up to 35,143. And in fact, the health ministry have been warning that, this is kind of a magic number, which will see, Poland's health service really kind of like put to the strain. So basically, what's happening from Saturday? So Saturday, the 27th of March, is that now preschools are now closed, creches, so like kindergartens and preschools, whatever you want to call them, they're all shutting shop. So they'll be joining all the other schools which have closed down earlier, right? But now, like, if you have a kid that goes to preschool, you won't be able to go until the end of April the 9th. And remember, like, and this goes for all the restrictions which were announced, this is until the April the 9th, which is a Friday. So I take it until the end of that week. Most beauty salons, in fact, all beauty salons, hairdressers, these kinds of places are all shutting shop, as well as massive department stores. These are also closing, and stores with a surface area above 100 square meters will be allowed to have one patron or one customer, one every 20 square meters. This has actually gone up from one every 15 square meters. People have been dying of COVID. The numbers have been really going up. We're seeing more than 500 deaths a day now from this virus. So yeah, I think the government had absolutely no choice but to, just lock us down even more.
Yep, absolutely. Country is, I think, 100% now on lockdown, but there's even talk about possibly the Polish government going a bit further and putting in more restrictions, which many people are saying are unconstitutional, possibly illegal. There's court cases about it, much discussion, debate,
Yes,
but
indeed.
the numbers that no one can argue with is the number of cases and the number of, indeed, as you mentioned, hospitalizations. And all of this has always been about the fact that it's about protecting the health system from collapsing. Nobody wants to see Lombardy scenes like, of course, this time last year in northern Italy, when the health system just could not continue and there were just too many patients. Of course, amongst the Polish population, not only do you have people with confirmed cases, but of course you have all these asymptomatic cases where people actually have coronavirus, COVID-19, but don't know about it.
John, if you think about it, like the latest stats show that 460,000 people are actually officially in quarantine. But I personally think that number should be at least, twice or even three times that amount, right? At least.
Yes. And there's obviously controversies abound, including people questioning whether it was right to let Poles come back for Christmas holidays. But, there'll be questions asked constantly about that. John, on Tuesday, I think we released a film about the situation in which I had a bit of a tickly cough.
Yes.
So I think it's probably the right moment to reveal that, having gone for my swab on Wednesday.
You like a bit of swabbing action, don't you, Paddy?
I must admit, it wasn't the first swab I've ever had in my life. And he inserted the thin rod deeply to the back of my throat, which was quite unpleasant. And it had been warning on the test thing. It said could provoke a strong reaction, the gag reflex. And then he put the swab up my nose, which I can only describe as being one of the single most tickly experiences of my entire life. And the thing is, they also whirl it round, as if it was
Oh my
a
God.
spin the bob.
Yeah.
And it made me giggle like a child might do. And anyway,
But the test is negative, I hope.
The test is negative, and I have to say that was quite a relief, because I've been looking after the kids on my own for 10 days or whatever. My wife's away at the moment with a medical thing. So, lots of polls getting checked up, and indeed new measures to make it even easier to get COVID-19 tests are being brought in by the Polish government.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, I think, John, would you agree that the atmosphere on the streets is just a little bit more tense than it has been for quite some time?
Yeah, I think it is. People are that much more wary. People who didn't really wear masks are now actually starting to wear them. They actually see the benefits of protecting themselves, because it's not a fun situation to be in. And of course, it's not about protecting yourself. It's about protecting others around you. So if you're watching this, please stay at home if you can. Just make some excuse not to go outside unless you really have to. Keep you and your loved ones safe, and keep people around you safe. I mean, that's something which I'm certainly going to be doing. I'm going to be seeing whether people need any help doing the shopping and all the rest of it. My mother, for instance, she's like going on 70 now, right? So she's an extremely high risk category. Although today she actually got news that she's booked in for early May for her jab. So I'm very pleased that that's finally
it's okay,
happening.
John, because I think very few people wanted to meet with you anyway for social reasons. So it's probably
the
no
lockdown
change.
for me is like it's almost a bonus, right? Not just for me, but for the people around me.
Yeah, exactly. I'm so sorry, John. I can't come and see you for a year, maybe even 18 months, and I have no choice. It's terrible, but secretly good. The lack of contact. Yeah, we have to laugh, of course, ladies and gentlemen. You have to laugh, because otherwise you can cry, and our hearts go out to anyone at this particular time suffering from COVID or having to go through relative suffering from it, or indeed worse. Let's hope that this thing is dealt with soon. But meantime, of course, John, I think the best thing to do, what if I wanted to know more about the situation literally in real time, and I didn't speak Polish and wanted to know more about Poland? It seems like there's no hope for me. There's just no resource I can turn to. Am I right?
Well, you could always try thefirstnews.com, a link below the video, as we do every episode, Paddy.
We do. And thanks to the virtual world that we live in, I can even show you how to do it, which is to take your forefinger and click upon this device.
Yes, indeed.
So see you again for another episode of
What's Up, Poland?